Okay, guys, so I am recording me going over this quiz because I forgot to do it last time. I forgot to hit record last time. We went over it in the session. People got to ask their questions. It went really well, but there's not going to be any questions in this one. It's just going to be my voiceover. So things might go a little quick. I'm sorry if you get lost, but you can always go back in the video and try to listen to me talk really fast again. Okay, so for number one, it says find the slope of the curve at the indicated points. So what do we know about the slope? Well, the slope of a curve at any point is the derivative at that specific point. So you can calculate this either with the definition of a derivative, which is limit as h approaches 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. Or you have new derivative rules. And the best derivative rule for finding this, you have y equals 8x to the 1 plus 6 y, let me get rid of that. Y prime would equal 8 times 1 times x to the 1 minus 1 plus 6x to the 0 plus 6. Actually, not even 6, because the derivative of a constant is always 0, so it would equal 8. And so we have a point x equals 2, so you plug in x to the derivative to get the slope of the equation. Since there's no x, the derivative of the equation is only 8. So your answer is D. Okay, that was nice and simple. Now, if we want to find all the points where the graph of the function have horizontal tangents. So a horizontal tangent, that's a fancy way of saying that the tangent line has a slope of 0. So what you want to do is you want to find the derivative. You want to find f prime of x. We're going to use the power rule, so it equals 6 times 2 times x to the 2 minus 1 plus 3 times 1 times x to the 1 minus 1, and then minus 0 because the derivative of 2 is equal 0. So you end up with 12x plus 3. So you want to know the slope. You want to know when this equation right here equals 0. So you set it equal to 0, 12x plus 3 equals 0. Then you solve for x, and you have 12x equals negative 3, x equals negative 1 over 4. Now, if you look at your answer choices, you only have one that works, but what you would do to find the point on the graph is you would plug in x equals negative 1/4 to the original equation. So you'd have 6 times negative 1 squared plus 3 times negative 1 squared minus 2, which equals 6 times 1 over 16 plus 3 times negative 1 over 4 minus 2, which equals 6 over 16 minus 3 over 4 minus 2. So if you get common denominators, this equals 6 over 16 minus 12 over 4 minus equals 9 over 4 over 16, guys. Sorry, I've done a lot of stuff today. So you have over 16. So 6 minus 12 minus 32. So you got negative 6 minus 32 equals negative 38. And if you simplify, you can take out a 2 from both of these and cross them out. You have negative 19 over 8. So your answer right here is B. Now we find the equation of all the tangents of the curve f of x equals 1 over x to have a slope of -1. So take the derivative, so first off, you can use quotient rule. It doesn't really make it fast. Y'all already knew what the derivative is, but f of x equals x to the -1, f prime of x equals -1, x to the -2, which equals -1 over x squared. So we want to find the equations of all the tangents that have a slope of -1. So you want to set this equation equal to -1 because you want to know when it equals -1. So cross multiply. You get -1 equals -x squared. You get x squared equals 1. So x equals positive -1. So you want to find the equation of all the tangent lines. Hang on, I may have done this wrong. Okay, so you have two equations, but you only have one answer. You have one -1 here. So at x equals -1, you have a, let me think of this. Sorry, I've had a long day. At x equals -1, you have a slope of -1. So you have a tangent line, so you have -x plus b y. And if you plug in -1, you get -1 as the answer. I got too much clutter here. Your answer, it has a slope of -1, so it marks out these two right here because they have slopes of +1. If you plug in -1 to your equation, you get 1 over negative, to the original f of x up here, you get 1 over -1, which equals -1. So at -1, if you have a slope, if you have a point that hits at -1, if you have a point P, -1 also equals -1. So you have -1 equals -1 times -1 plus b. So -2 equals b. So we know that one's correct. These two don't have it. So your only answer is B. Sorry that took me so long. Okay, so for a motorcycle traveling at a speed v in miles per hour, when the brakes are applied, the distance d in feet required to stop the motorcycle may be approximated by the formula d equals 0.05 v squared plus v. Find the instantaneous rate of change of distance in respect to velocity when the speed is 40 miles an hour. So since it's an instantaneous rate of change, you're looking for the derivative or the slope of the tangent line. If he had said average rate of change, that's a completely different ballgame, as I believe we'll see in the future of this. So d prime, if you use the product rule, equals 0.1 v plus 1. D prime at v equals 40 equals 0.1 times 40 plus 1, which equals 4 plus 1. So that is the instantaneous change in distance is 4 plus 1, which equals 5. Okay, so now he just wants you to calculate the derivative and plug it into the single point. So using this rule right here, we'll use power rule. So we have g prime of x equals 6x minus 4. There's only one answer right here with that. But he wants to know the point at 3. So g prime of 3 equals 6 times 3 minus 4, which equals 18 minus 4, which equals 14. Number 6, you can use the power rule again. This also equals negative 2x negative 1. So g prime of x equals 2x negative 2. So g prime of negative 2 equals 2 over negative 2 squared, which equals 1/2. And see, there's only one answer that has a positive 1/2. He tried to get you right there. This guy right here. B. Okay, we're going to find the indicated derivative. So it wants you to find the derivative of this equation right here. And because, sadly, you have two terms in the denominator, you can't split it up and use power rule and simplify like that. You have to use quotient rule. So reminding myself of quotient rule right here. G of x times f prime of x minus f of x, g prime of x, all over g of x squared. So first things first, f of x equals x, f prime of x equals 1. G of x equals 2x minus 2. G prime of x equals 2. Now we come up here to plug into the formula. G of x, so we have 2x minus 2 times f prime of x, so 1, minus f of x, x, times g prime of x, which is 2, all over x minus 2 squared. That equals 2x minus 2 minus 2x over 2x minus 2 squared. And also a helpful tip right here is to leave the denominator like this. Do not FOIL it out unless you absolutely have to get something to simplify. But you can see right here that this 2x and this 2x cancel out, so it equals negative 2 over 2x minus 2 squared. C. Right here, he just wants you to find the derivative again, differentiate the function. So using power rule equals 3 minus 2 over x squared, f prime of 5 equals 3 minus 2 over 25. I just went ahead and squared 5, which equals 75 over 25 minus 5, or 2 over 25. So you get 73 over 25, B. And I'll keep going until I'm writing them. My least favorite one, he makes you do it this way. So use this formula to find the derivative at a point. So we use limit as z approaches x equals limit as z approaches x of 6 over z plus x minus 6 over z plus 8 over So I like to pull the limit out. So 6 times, or pull the coefficient on top out. And then say the common factor. Pull that out right here. And then cross multiply to get a common denominator. And save me a few steps. Of x plus 8 minus z plus 8 all over remember our main goal here is to get something to cancel out. So this 8 minus 8 right here cancel out. And this is something cool. We'll keep going over here. X minus z over x plus 8 times z plus 8 times, you can do this, 1 over z minus x. Well, right here, we have a z minus x and an x minus z. So what I like to do is turn this into negative z minus x. And you can see that this cancels out with this, leaving you with this right here. Now, what we do with the limit, we just, everywhere we see a z, we plug in an x. 6 times negative 1 over x plus 8 times x plus 8, which equals 6 over x plus 8 squared. Negative 6 over x plus 8 squared. So your answer right here is C. I'm going to make sure this is still recording. Yeah, we're still recording. So the function of the graph is choose the function that best shows its derivative. So a derivative is an instantaneous rate of change, am I right? So the instantaneous rate of change, when a function is decreasing, the derivative would be negative. See how it's negative? It's decreasing. The value of the y-axis is decreasing when you're on the negative axis. But when you're at positive x, you're going up. So we're looking for a derivative that to the left of 0, it's decreasing, and to the right of 0, it's increasing. So to the left of 0, it's decreasing. It's negative, so it's negative. To the right of 0, it's positive. It's increasing over the whole thing, but to the left of 0, it's negative, and to the right of 0, it's positive. So C best represents the derivative right there. It all depends on the decreasing of the function and increasing the function as you move from left to right. If it's decreasing, the derivative is negative. If it's increasing, the derivative is positive. Find the graph of f, find any values of x for which f prime is not defined. Remember, f prime is not defined at a point, so the absolute value of x if the derivative of x at 0, it does not exist because the limit from the left does not equal the limit from the right. So this, you have a point in this equation right here at x equals 0. So the derivative at a point does not equal, or the derivative does not exist at a point. That's what I'm trying to say. So it wants to know if it's differentiable at the origin. So to be differentiable at an origin, the limit has to exist and it has to be continuous. So 6x minus 7 has to equal x squared plus 5x plus 7. So x equals 0 equals negative 7. And you have x squared plus 5x plus 7 at x equals 0 equals positive 7. So it is not differentiable. I may have missed this that when we went over it earlier. I'm sorry, guys. It's not differentiable. Pay attention to those signs. That's how they always try to get you. Signs and trig. Well, it has signs in it too, but. Find the derivative of 10 minus 7x squared. So using power rule, we know y prime equals 0 minus 2 times 7 times x times 2 minus 1, which equals negative 14x. B. That's the answer to this one. Find the second derivative. So just use the power rule. He didn't make it too hard. So y prime using power rule equals 18x plus 6. Y prime prime is the derivative of y prime, so it's just 18. Hey, see, this isn't bad at all. You just got to follow your rules. You can solve this problem with one or two ways. You can use product rule or you can use quotient rule. I mean, never mind. No, you can use product rule or you can FOIL it out and then use power rule. I'm going to use product rule because we haven't used it yet. So y prime equals, or no, that's not. The best way to remember these, in my opinion, is to write out the equations all the time. That's the product rule. So plugging it in, we have y prime equals 5x minus 4 times g prime of x, so 3, plus 3x plus 1 times 5, which equals 15x minus 4 plus 15x plus 5, which equals 30x plus 1. Oh, I messed up somewhere. I get my sign wrong. Oh, 3 times 4. I didn't distribute property. 15x minus 12. So that's 30x minus 7. See, we all make mistakes. So your correct answer here, A. Now right here is a fun one. We're almost done with this. Wow. Okay. Y equals, I'm gonna write it out here. Minus 3x plus 2 over x to the 7th minus 2. So right here you have a classic thing of quotient rule. I'm not going to write it out. I'm just going to, didn't mean to hit that. F of x equals equals 2x. No. So we're going to use our quotient rule. So g of x on top, so x to the 7th minus 2 times the derivative of f of x, which is 2x minus 3, minus f of x, which is x squared minus 3x plus 2 times g prime of x, 7x to the 6th, all over x to the 7th minus 2 squared. Now for the fun part, we get to simplify this. So if we FOIL this out up here, x to the 7th times 2x. I'm not going to do this right because it's such a waste. X to the 7th times 2x, which is 2x to the 8th, minus 3x to the 7th minus. And so you have negative 2 times 2x, which is negative 4x. This is negative 2 times 3, which is 6, minus that's going to be a big number. Just going to make a bunch of these just in case. All right, x squared is 7x, x squared times 7x to the 8th. X squared, or minus 3x, so that's minus 21x to the 7th. And that's 14x to the 6th. So that's this is a 7, by the way. I'm trying to differentiate it. It's not a negative 7. Distribute negative sign, so this is a plus, this is a minus, and this is a minus. All over this right here. So 2x minus 2x to the 8th minus that's negative 8. I probably made a mistake in here somewhere. It's just an occupational hazard. So that's what I got for the answer. From simplifying, that's the hardest part of this problem. Oh, never mind, we're not almost done. We have a whole other sheet. What am I talking about? So negative 5x to the 8th plus 18x to the 7th minus 14x to the 6th minus 4x plus 6. All right, so minus 4x. How did I mess that up right there? You got minus 3x. No, it's right here. So your correct answer is B. So I did do that right. Okay. Yeah. So what he tried to get you with on number 17 is y prime equals 1/4 x to the 1/4 minus 1, which equals B. That was nice and simple and doesn't hurt as much as the others. So we'll come along right here. Another quotient rule, yay, but you don't have to use quotient rule because you can say y equals x to the 4th over 2, or no, over x squared plus 3 over x squared, which equals x squared plus 3x to the negative 2. Nice and simple, right? Oh, he wants you to find the second derivative? That's rude. Prime equals 2x plus, no, it's not even plus, it's minus 6x negative cubed. Y prime equals 2 plus 18x negative 4th. Hey, so if you can ever simplify with your exponent rules, do that first. It's a whole, this problem 18 is a whole lot easier than all this hoopla over here. So always simplify before you can work on it if you can. So the function s of equals f of t is the position of a body with a line s meters and t is in seconds. That's your equation between 0 and 2. Find the body's displacement. So displacement is how far it goes in 2 seconds over the time interval. So you want S equals f of t. So you want to find f of 2 equals 8 times 2 squared plus 4 times 2 plus 7, which equals 32 plus 16 plus 7 equals 32 plus 16 is 48 plus 7, 55? No. You know, 8 times 4 is 32. 4 times 2 is not 16, Lance. Come on now. 4 times 2 is 8. That's 40. That's 47. That's not even in one of the questions answers. Let's redo this. I'll get out a calculator. But since it says average velocity, or no, we're working on body displacement, so f of 2 equals 8 times 4 plus 4 times 2 plus 7 equals 32 plus 8. I don't like how there's no odd numbers, because obviously you're going to have an odd number. It's either going to be A or B because you have a 2-second interval. But anyways, so I don't know if that's right or not. I could be doing this completely wrong. I think I got the right answer last time. But the average velocity over the time interval is the secant line. So it's f of 2 minus f of 0 over 2 minus 0, which equals 47 minus 7 over 2 equals 20. So from that, 20 meters per second, the only one answer could be is B. But I don't like how this displacement's wrong. Wait, no, it is B. Okay. That's how far he is from 0 at f of 2, but you have to take away f of 0 because that's his initial starting point, and f of 0 equals 7, so that's what it is. Okay, f of 2 equals 47, f of 0 equals 7. So at at t equals 0, he was already 7 meters away from the starting point. That's what happened. And then at f of 2, he's 47 meters away, but his total displacement over the interval is f of 2 minus f of 0, which is equal to 40. And when you want the average velocity, you don't want the instantaneous, so you don't have to take a derivative. So you put f2 minus f of 0 over the time interval, which is 2 minus 0, which gives you 20. So he did do that right. Sorry, I wasn't paying close enough attention. And now he wants you to find the derivative. So y prime equals negative 5 over x squared plus 4. Derivative of secant is secant x tangent x. So, booyah. That's all we got right now. I will be going over the test for you guys and all. So I will be going over the test so you guys can watch that and try to enjoy that a little bit and study for your test coming on Monday. Whether or not we're going to have a SL session next Wednesday, I do not know. That's in the works. Other than that, guys, enjoy your weekend and studying for the test. It won't be as bad as you think, I promise, unless you overthink it.